Good morning. Hasn't this been a special weekend? Beautiful weather? Welcome to the 151st commencement of the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine, the convocation of the senior class of 1987. Please allow me to make a few introductions of our stage party. On my far right, Dr. Marlene Wagger, Marshal, Dr. Orrin Mock, Marshal, the Reverend John Pringer, Doctorate Speaker, Mr. Bernard Birdman, member of our Board of Trustees, Dr. John Scancarella, past President of the Kirksville Osteopathic Alumni Association, Dr. Alan Jacobs, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of our college. On my far left, Mr. Barry Doublestein, Marshal and Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, Miss Elvina Britz, another member of our Board of Trustees, Dr. Virginia Foster, honorary degree recipient, Dr. Presley Crummy, honorary degree recipient, and our commencement speaker, Dr. Michael Samuels. From the audience, I would like to ask the following people to stand and be recognized for their commitment and dedication to our 151st graduating class. First of all, on my right, our outstanding college faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you. Next, I would like to recognize the parents of our graduates. Will you please stand? Thank you. And now, last but by no means least, the spouses of our graduates. Please stand. I'd like to give you a few facts about the class of 1987. There are 130 graduates, 17 ladies and 113 men. They represent 31 states of our union. 26 are from the state of Missouri, 1 from a foreign country, 77 are married, 35 are related to osteopathic physicians, and there are 75 children at last count, all future DOs, we hope. We extend a special thanks to Dr. Charles McLean and the board of Northeast Missouri State University for their hospitality in sharing Baldwin Auditorium facilities during our commencement activities. We also extend thanks to the Northeast Missouri State University Brass Quintet for the fine musical arrangements, and to those many service clubs at our college for their support and service to the graduating class. We've received special letters congratulating our graduates from the Ohio College, from the Michigan College, and the Iowa College of Osteopathic Medicine. A telegram has also just been received from the American Osteopathic Association with this message. On behalf of the officers and Board of Trustees of the American Osteopathic Association, I extend congratulations and best wishes to the class of 1987 of our founding college, the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine. You have distinguished yourselves by your selection for admission to an outstanding osteopathic college, by your academic achievements, and by your declared commitment to the improvement of the human condition through the application of your acquired skills and knowledge. We are extremely proud of you and delighted to welcome you to a fuller participation in the osteopathic family. Signed fraternally, Eugene L. Sikorsky, DO, President. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great privilege and honor to introduce our commencement speaker, for he has been a tremendous friend to our college and to rural America for many years. Dr. Mike Samuels has been involved with health care on a federal level for more than 20 years. He began his professional career as a U.S. Department of Health, Education, and Welfare intern after graduating from Gilborough College in Greensboro, North Carolina. His professional interest in rural health care began during his doctoral studies at the University of North Carolina, where his dissertation title was "Why Physicians Elect Rural Practice." In 1976, he became the Associate Bureau Director for Rural Health, which involved directing the Rural Health Initiative program. This, in fact, is part of our rural clinics. A project grant program to establish and develop an integrated primary health care delivery system in medically underserved rural areas. He later became the Deputy Director of Primary Health Care Programs within the Public Health Service of the United States Department of Health and Human Services. His responsibilities included directing the Community Health Centers Program, the Urban Health Initiative, Primary Care Research and Demonstration Program, Home Health Care Program, Black Lung Program, and the Regional Commissions Program. He was also the chairman of the Public Service Rural Health Coordinating Committee and coordinated activities with the Migrant Health Program. Prior to becoming the assistant to the U.S. Surgeon General C. Everett Koop in March of 1986, he was Deputy Director of the National Health Service Corps. With the Surgeon General's office, he is actively involved in analysis of policy development on the AIDS national concern. His other activities and accomplishments have included being legislative aide to Congressman Richard Gebhardt from Missouri, a fellow at the National Academy of Medicine, assistant to the director of the Fogarty International Center, National Institute of Health, and various academic appointments at major universities throughout the country. He has been involved with healthcare worldwide and, needless to say, has published widely. Because of his friendship and support of the college and his tremendous accomplishments in the healthcare profession, the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine awarded our speaker the honorary degree Doctor of Laws in 1985. Ladies and gentlemen, I am most proud and honored to introduce to you our friend, the Assistant to the Surgeon General of the United States, Dr. Michael E. Samuels.
Well, I'll try to make my speech a little bit shorter than the introduction. President Tenning, Dean Jacobs, Father Prager, medical graduates of the class of 1987. I know that must ring true for you. Families and friends of the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to be here this morning to share with you for a few minutes, and I assure you it will be a few minutes, that wonderful sense of pride and accomplishment that each of you must be feeling right now on this, your final day of your formal schooling in medicine. It's been many years since I sat out there and received my doctorate, but I still remember that unique glow. There's just no feeling like it. You are the doctor at last. Congratulations to each of you for reaching this day and also for being able to share that special glow of achievement and to share it with your loved ones. Being in public service can often be a thankless job, but there are few rewards and many headaches. But over the past few years, I've received some very important rewards in this job. The one that I'd like to share with you today is my discovery of the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine and the humanity of osteopathic medicine. Just as important, I'd like to think, is the fact that Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine discovered me. Despite that I was the fact that I was the director of rural health and should know everything that was going on in rural health, it was the leadership of Kcom that found me. I didn't find them. I've come to Kirksville many times over the years and onto this campus for a number of very important discoveries and events. First, the discovery as the director of rural health of this, the largest producer of rural general practitioners in the United States. That a tradition that Kirksville carried on long when the rest of the country, and particularly the allopathic schools, had forgotten about rural America. In fact, it's sort of amazing now to see how many of these schools are now all of a sudden discovering the need for rural practice. The other thing that made it nice from my point of view was here was an already existing medical school who was encouraging and developing rural practice and rural systems of care that didn't require any seed money or development money from the federal government, but just rather a little support to continue to do what they knew was always right in the first place. Particularly pleased to be associated with a school that believes so deeply in rural health and expresses that commitment by requiring every student to participate in the rural practice program. That's a unique experience that only you have. I also have been pleased to find out that this school has a unique relationships with the communities in Northeast Missouri that it serves, and is willing to share the responsibility of delivering health care with community leaders. I also had a very special opportunity, for those of you who may remember Stead Denslow, to work with him in the early days of the Rural Health Initiative. And from Stead, I came to know the character and the fellowship of Kcom and the real spirit of osteopathy. I had the opportunity in 1982 to be the speaker at the opening of the primary care teaching facility. That was a landmark occasion too, because in addition to the rural practice program, that showed Kirksville's commitment to developing complete rural health care systems with the kind of specialty care that our rural citizens need like everyone else. And I think that that sort of completes the model that Kirksville has of rural health, which should be emulated in all other medical schools that purport to serve rural America. About 2 years ago, on a lovely morning just like this one, I had the great honor to receive an honorary degree, a Doctor of Laws, from this college. The most important thing was not the degree, but with that ceremony, I was admitted into this very special family within American society. And I assure you, nowhere else in all of medicine is there a fellowship that exists like the fellowship at Kcom. This fellowship is the men and women who've been educated, cared for, wept over, and cheered on by this extraordinary institution, the Kirksville College of Osteopathic Medicine. And here I am again. It's a lovely summer morning. It must be Kirksville. And and with all the chaos and the sounds of the youngsters, the coughing, etc., it's got to be graduation day. On thousands of campuses this spring, commencement speakers are extolling graduates on the theme, onward and upward. But in my life and the life of those who I proudly call colleagues, the negative twist to the pursuit of excellence has kept me on track. That twist is the avoidance of mediocrity. Mediocrity is defined as being of middling capacity, not approaching superiority. It's not an easy task to be a professional in our society, climbing the ladder while assuming some of the civic, community, voluntary, and religious activities that your admiring peers believe cannot be done by anyone else but you, the doctor. As soon as that label is placed on you, the world will be at your feet and will be extracting a huge due. Your life can be a little bit like walking a tightrope, but I contend that with the avoidance of mediocrity as a guiding principle, that you can strike some kind of reasonable balance. I think it's preferable to that narrow singleness of purpose that comes when you have nothing more on your mind than to move onward and upward in your chosen vocation. But as you proceed, please take care not to confuse vocation with occupation. A vocation, I must remind you, is a summons, an invitation, or literally a calling, from the root meaning of the word itself. Centuries ago, this call was of divine origin, and it still is today for many men and women. But occupation is another and a lesser matter. An occupation